Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to discuss the third sequel idea for Godzilla X Kong. And this one is pretty straightforward. Destroyah. I've talked about this monster plenty of times. Many of you watching this video also have been clamoring for Destroyah. And while I still think that getting a Toho monster is becoming a little bit more and more unlikely, we still see shades of them, even if they're not in a major capacity like King of the Monsters, right? We got Mechagodzilla, albeit for 3 minutes total screen time. We got Mothra for maybe double that. But really, since King of the Monsters, there really has been no Toho focal point. Obviously, we know that Legendary still has a desire to use these monsters, but they know that it comes at a price per movie, now we know. And with that said, you know, I think if they were gonna pour money into bringing a monster over, Destroyah would probably be the one, in my opinion. I do think you could make a case for Biollante as well, especially considering the Hollow Earth. She would fit in perfectly there. And I think the only other one I could think of that you could possibly, they might possibly want to invest in is maybe a Gigan or another round at Ghidorah, maybe a Mecha King Ghidorah or just another Ghidorah species. But this one, I've flirted with this before in the past. This is not necessarily a new idea. The last time I talked about Destroyah in the Monsterverse, I made a movie where Destroyah and Biollante made a movie. I didn't make a movie, obviously, but my idea was to have Destroyah and Biollante as the villains, and Biollante would be organically a natural resident of the Hollow Earth, and that she was partaking, pretty much overtaking the whole, like she was literally almost the whole Hollow Earth. She was discovered as they explored deeper and deeper. And while she was much larger than a lot of the monsters, it was really like her vines and other flora. She just grew to an enormous size over the millions of years that she's been down there. Pretty much a dormant monster. And then Destroyah was a result of the prototype Oxygen Destroyer that got set off in King of the Monsters, and Destroyah was kind of like a herald. Like Biollante was actually the big bad in this version, but Destroyah was like kind of like her herald, and Destroyah was more of a menace on the surface, so pretty much a direct threat to Godzilla, while Biollante was pretty much a direct threat to everybody, including humanity. This one though, I think I'm gonna more focus on Destroyah being the primary villain, and to kind of indulge some of you guys who are very dead set on the whole Godzilla-centric movie, I think this probably is what I would do here. I don't know how I would probably fit Kong into this, but being that I'm going to flesh this out at some point, be it on the stream or in a video next week, I'm sure I'll come up with something. But I would make it so that Destroyah is probably the biggest threat they've ever faced in terms of you're gonna need more than Godzilla to fight him. So, and look, I don't think this is something that's too difficult to set up. The setup for Destroyah in the Monsterverse is just right there for the taking. They can use it at any time. In fact, when you think about when that bomb was set off, you know, when it was dropped on Ghidorah and Godzilla, and where we are now in the Monsterverse, a good number of years has passed. And since Destroyah would not be a natural resident of the Hollow Earth or even a natural monster of the order, it would be much like Ghidorah, just kind of imbalancing the natural order of the Titans. You know, there's no reason why you cannot accelerate his growth over the course of 5 or 6 or 7 years. So, and then you can work in all the pseudoscience you want on how the Oxygen Destroyer spread in the water, and it had a mutated effect on a crustacean, and this crustacean was able to multiply, and while it multiplied, it growed, and it developed a skill where they can band together to form one singular larger version. And you can do a lot of what they did in Godzilla vs. Destroyah from Toho. You can do a bunch of little destroyers come out and terrorize people. You could open the movie with a beach scene and all these little destroyers come out of the water and start terrorizing people on the beach. I mean, there's so many ways you can go with this, and you can just, I mean, you can go crazy. Now, I know I know what the question is going to be, or not even the question. I know what the comment is. Well, if you're going to make Destroyer, then you got to put Godzilla Jr. in it. No, not my version. Your version, that's fine. I'm not, look, I did like Zuko. You know what? I'll play devil's advocate here. I'll tell you what. We'll do Godzilla Jr., but we're not doing the little shitball that was floating in the air in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. We're going to skip the whole little kitty 2-year-old toddler monsters. That's the kind of shit I don't want. Godzilla Jr., which is a fully grown adolescent Godzilla, much like in Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Okay, that's fine. If you want to try and throw into the movie that another smaller Godzilla is discovered in the Hollow Earth and maybe Kong, I don't know. Whatever you guys fantasize about. Me personally, I prefer not to have baby monsters in the movie. Zuko luckily worked, but that's because Zuko's also a gorilla, and much like Kong, has some elements where he can connect. I can't look at Godzilla being emotionally detached from the audience and then see him hovering over and watching over a little Godzilla toddler that just does stupid shit and looks goofy as fuck. I just can't. I can't take it seriously. Sorry, my dog is crying in the background because my other dog is out walking and he's jealous. So yeah, we'll leave that up in the air. Maybe I can find a way to work it in, and I'll include it on the flesh out of each story. But right now, it's definitely not a priority for the story I would want to tell. But in terms of getting Destroyah in the movie, that's easy. That's easy. They could easily leverage that and then go from there. And you just make him a destructive force. I mean, this is a monster that is looking to exterminate. I would like it to be a monster that's actually there to cause harm. Even Ghidorah, to a sense, didn't really fly around destroying cities or destroying people. You know, he was more so after the monsters to get them to submit to him more than anything. I would want Destroyah to be the kind of monster that's out there looking to kill everything that breathes. I would definitely take a couple of monsters from the Hollow Earth, or even from whatever monsters are left on the surface, and just have him slay them. I would definitely want to fight with him and Godzilla first, and their first fight, and he just shreds Godzilla, where Godzilla literally needs to retreat to the Hollow Earth to get Kong this time. I think that would be a good parallel to what we just got. I think the question is, and this is another idea I had before, and this is what's going to make this one a lot of fun, but also somewhat challenging, is, you know, do I flesh out this idea with the thought that there'll be another movie after this? Because one of the things I've always liked when thinking about this scenario is having this almost not shot for shot, but pretty much almost duplicate the Toho movie, in which at the end Godzilla dies. I've always thought about, you know, how cool it would be if Legendary couldn't use Godzilla anymore. If Toho had said, hey, look, we love what you're doing, but we have some plans, and we're gonna need to put you on pause for a little bit. If Legendary had to make one more movie with Godzilla, I would definitely want it to be a heroic ending where he does die. I don't have a problem with that.
I know a lot of them. Oh, you can't kill Godzilla. No, you can't kill him. He's gonna kill him. Godzilla.
Okay, but that's how you feel. That's fine. I'm not saying that's what you have to accept. I'm just saying this was my idea. This is what I personally would like. I would love a heroic ending where, you know, if Godzilla doesn't succeed, he pretty much everything on Earth is done. And if he does succeed, everyone gets to live, but the sacrifice is he's gone. And I do think what's compelling about that is when you consider how they've built Godzilla to be like this protector or defender, for better or worse, considering the collateral damage, where's that going to leave humanity? You know, is humanity going to be relieved that he's gone, or is humanity going to be sad that he's gone? What's going to go through humanity's mind? Where's Godzilla going to be if something like this ever happens again? I mean, we know Kong is more than capable, but Kong doesn't quite have that kind of power level. And these Titans, whether they come from the Hollow Earth or from above or wherever else, these Titans are getting stronger. And I think that'd be a great, and also it could set up a major comeback down the line. You know, if Toho decided like 4 years later, that, hey, you guys want to use him again, and they want to make another like a swan song kind of movie, one more movie, and Godzilla makes this epic comeback to do this, you know, there's so much potential. So I think the idea of giving Godzilla a heroic send-off is a great thing. You know, instead of doing the junior cameo at the end, just make it, you know, Godzilla always survives somehow, right? So you leave it ambiguous as to whether he's actually dead, but you make it evident enough that you're leaning more towards he's dead, or that he's gone. Maybe not say dead, maybe gone. So, but yeah, I think Destroyah is, if Legendary has a chance to get a Toho monster, I do think Destroyah is the way to go, and we'll have to see. So anyway, that's gonna be it for this one. Like I said, you've gotten the 3 main pitch ideas now, and tomorrow I'm gonna put up the schedule. Now I usually start my stream between 6 and 8 p.m. I'm gonna set it for 6. And if I'm able to start at 6, I will. But just understand the window for when I start the stream is usually between 6 and 8. But I never start later than 8 o'clock unless something happens. And I never start earlier than 6 o'clock. So I'll put the schedule up just so you guys can vote on the poll. If I need to adjust the time start, I'll do so. And then you guys can come back and check what time it starts. But we'll get the poll up tomorrow as early as possible. You guys can vote on which of the 3 scenarios you want me to flesh out tomorrow on stream. I tend to do these things on off the cuff. I don't write scripts. I don't do any of that. So when you hear me talking about whatever idea I'm fleshing out, I'm going to be doing that on the spot. I'm going to be coming up with my ideas and my characters on the spot. And I think tomorrow will be a lot of fun. Not only are we going to do this, we're going to talk about potential spin-offs. A lot of speculation there, and I think it'll be fun to talk about that as well. So stick on the channel. All right, if you're new here, subscribe. It says it in the beginning of the video, so I don't feel like I need to tell you. I don't want to sound like every other tuber, but every now and then PSA doesn't hurt. So definitely subscribe, like the video, share it with people who you think would like this idea, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. It's a very exciting time right now. Very, very exciting time, especially after today's news. So anyway, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.